We are starting off with the 2010 NBA draft. With the number one pick, I believe that the number one pick should have been Washington Wizards' John Wall. I don't see them changing up that pick. John Wall is actually the best player in this draft, in my opinion. Didn't have so many injuries. John Wall would still be a top 5, maybe top 3 point guard on the planet, but since he's injured, we'll see what he comes back through next year. But he is a perfect centerpiece to start your team around as long as he's not injured. At the second pick, we're going to have the 76ers choosing Paul George, playoff P, way off P, brick to the side of the backboard, playoff P, man. I believe he's still the second best player in this draft. The reason I didn't put him over John Wall is because Paul George is so inconsistent in the playoffs. We haven't really seen John Wall in the playoffs as of yet, but I'll give Paul George the second spot. So they could prove me and the NBA world wrong on how we can actually take his team to the NBA Finals, even past the second round of the conference finals. We'll see what he can do. The third pick in the 2010 NBA draft, the Brooklyn Nets would choose DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, I'm going to take it to the recent teams. I'm going to update the teams and how we go along. So it would not be the New Jersey Nets. It's now the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to have DeMarcus Cousins going to the Brooklyn Nets. He actually is the third best. Again, he's like John Wall with injury. DeMarcus Cousins is, when healthy, he's probably top 10, maybe top 5. That's probably pushing it for the best big men in the league when healthy. This guy is an absolute beast, and I believe he can come back next year stronger, maybe play for the Lakers, hopefully get a back-to-back ring, as the Lakers are going to win the ring this year. But DeMarcus Cousins deserves to be the number 3 pick. With the 4th pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to choose Gordon Hayward. Again, this guy is a really, really good player. He was the small forward for the Boston Celtics. Obviously, he's just like John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, very injury prone, but he still is a very good piece to have on any NBA team. I wonder where he's going to go in the offseason. Obviously, have some offseason videos in the upcoming weeks. But Gordon Hayward is the best 4th pick on the list. At number 5, the Sacramento Kings are going to choose Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe is a very, very good piece, especially on the Bucks this season. Obviously, they fell short, but Bledsoe is a very, very good point guard. He's probably top 15 point guards. He may be top 10. That's probably pushing it, but he still is a very good player to have on your team. He can become your backup point guard, your main point guard, but him on the team can make your team even better. With the 6th pick, the Golden State Warriors would choose Avery Bradley. You know, this guy is one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. He is top 5 3-and-D players in the league at the guard position. So he's a very, very good piece. The Lakers are missing him at this point, but we don't really need him because the Lakers are still the best team in the NBA. But Avery Bradley is a very, very good piece to have in the team. He could be your 6th man with 3-and-D. He can guard up any point guards you guys want, or shooting guard at 6'4", 6'5". He's a very good piece to have. With the 7th pick, the Detroit Pistons would choose Dance Stevenson. You know, this guy's an energizer bunny. He's like Alex Caruso off the bench. He's a very good player. He's got high energy, and he can drain a couple of threes when he's wide open. Obviously, I would love to have him on my team again, on the Lakers, obviously. The Detroit Pistons would not go wrong with getting Lance Stevenson. With the 8th pick, the Los Angeles Clippers would choose Hassan Whiteside. Now, Hassan Whiteside, again, he's a very good player. He'll be a perfect backup center, even a starting center. He can't shoot, but he's like a Dwight Howard, but nowhere near as good in his prime. But Hassan Whiteside still can get you 10 points, 10 boards on a nightly basis, and he's a very good pick. And the Clippers could use him this season or next season when they go up in the NBA playoffs. But Hassan Whiteside is a very good, solid piece. With the 9th pick, the Utah Jazz will choose Larry Sanders. Now, Larry Sanders is not in the NBA at this present time. He has given up on his dream, but he is a very good inside center. On the Bucks, he used to be a player who can get you like 10, 15 points, 10, 15 rebounds per game, has really good defense. He's a really good piece to any player. If you come back in the NBA, he would be a starting center off rip. That's how good he was on the Milwaukee Bucks. And at the 10th pick, the Indiana Pacers would choose Evan Turner. Now, Evan Turner, obviously, he's older. He isn't the best as he once was. He was the number 2 pick, and they did stuff up with that pick. He's a very good bench player. He's not really good at starting. He's probably the 10th best player in this draft. Obviously, I'm going to show the top 10 players in each draft, obviously. But Evan Turner is a very good pick to have, and he's a very good solid piece off the bench. He can help you in winning some playoff games off the bench, give you like 8, 10, 15 points maybe, which is really, really good for Evan Turner. But that is the 2010 NBA redraft. What do you guys think about the top 10 picks right there? Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys believe are in your order, what would you have the top 10 picks looking like? Now, moving on to the 2011 NBA draft. With the number 1 pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers would choose Kawhi Leonard. As you guys can see, he was the 15th pick in the draft. Now, Kawhi Leonard, you already know, he's won 2 championships, one for the San Antonio Spurs and one for the Toronto Raptors. You've seen on the Raptors, you put him with a good, solid piece, with a good, solid team, with a lot of good players, one other All-Star, and other, like, really solid pieces, really good role players. He could win you a championship. On the Clippers, he doesn't really fit, obviously. But with the Raptors and the Spurs, he's a 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time champion. He's a top 3 small forward in the game, top 5 player in the NBA when he's at his peak. Obviously, this guy, Kawhi Leonard, is a great pick, and they should have picked him number 1. Obviously, we can't do the redraft back then, but number 1 pick should go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, could be Kawhi Leonard. With the second pick, the Timberwolves would choose Kyrie Irving, who was the number 1 pick. Obviously, Kyrie Irving's a very good player as well. He is an NBA champion. He hit that big shot in the 2016 NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors to help them win that game and get the best championship of all time for LeBron James. Kyrie Irving is an Australian native just like myself, but Kyrie Irving is a very good point guard. Top 5 point guard in the NBA when healthy. We'll see what he can do with Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets this next season. With the third pick, the Utah Jazz would pick Klay Thompson. You already know Klay Thompson is the top 5 shooting guard on the planet. He is the second best 3-point shooter in the NBA behind his teammate Stephen Curry. So Klay Thompson is a very solid pick to have at the third pick. With the fourth pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers would choose Jimmy Butler. Now Jimmy Butler, imagine if you could redraft this and have have Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler on the same team, that would be pretty impeccable. But you can see from this season, Jimmy Butler willed the Miami Heat to become into the NBA Finals. Obviously, they're going to fall short to the Lakers, but even getting them to the NBA Finals is a very good feat. He is another top 5 shooting guard on the planet. With the number 5 pick, the Raptors will choose Kemba Walker. You're seeing on the Celtics, Kemba Walker's a very solid point guard. He can get you 20 points per game. So Kemba Walker's a very solid pick to have. With the number 6 pick, the Wizards would choose Isaiah Thomas, who's actually the 60th pick in the NBA. So Isaiah Thomas, obviously, he's injured right now. He's not really at his best, but you've seen him at his best. He was very, very good until the Celtics traded him. He is an all-star caliber point guard. The only downfall to him is he's being so short. Next, we have the Sacramento Kings who choose Tobias Harris. On the Sixers, he doesn't really fit, but you've seen him on the Clippers. He can get you 20 points per game. He's a very solid player. You can put him on the bench. He can be a starting small forward, but I believe he'll be the best at a 6th man type of role. With 8th pick, the Detroit Pistons would choose Nikola Vucevic. Vucevic, again, is a top 15 center in the league. He can shoot threes. He can guard the paint. He can get you 10, 15 points, maybe 20 points per game with 10 boards. With the 9th pick, the Charlotte Hornets would choose Reggie Jackson. You know Reggie Jackson's a solid piece. On the Clippers, you've seen him come off the bench. Very solid. With the 10th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks would choose Markieff Morris Sr. So with Markieff Morris, he was the 13th pick. You know he's on the Lakers right now. He can get you 3-pointers like they're nothing. He can defend. He is a very solid player. Keith is better than Marcus, so I'm going to put it at the 10th pick. That is the 2011 draft. In the 2012 NBA draft, with the number 1 pick will go to the Pelicans, which would be Anthony Davis. Obviously, Anthony Davis is a top 3 player in the NBA right now. He's about to win his first ring. Anthony Davis is a very special talent, a generational talent. He's the best big man in the game. Jokic is close second. But Anthony Davis could do everything. He got robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year. He's the best player in the playoffs other than LeBron James. He could win Finals MVP over LeBron. Anthony Davis, best pick in the 2012 draft and the best pick I've seen in recent history. Number 2 pick, you got Damian Lillard, a top 5 point guard, maybe top 3 point guard in the league. Depends who you ask. But Damian Lillard, Dame time, willed his teams to the Western Conference Finals, even though they got swept by the Warriors. No one was beating that Warriors team, so much respect to Damian Lillard. Even got the 8th pick to verse the Lakers this year. No one was beating that Lakers team. There's no Warriors, so no one's going to beat that Lakers team, but Damian Lillard is a very good pick for number 2. The number 3 pick, the Wizards would choose Draymond Green. You already know this guy's an all-star, 3-time NBA champion. He is a very good player. He can get you a triple-double. He can shoot. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. He's like a 30% shooter, maybe 25%. He's not the best from 3-point, but a very good defensive power forward. Number 4 pick, Cleveland Cavaliers would choose Bradley Beal, the 2nd best player on the Wizards. I wonder what team he's going to. Ever since he's not going back to the Wizards, he wants to trade. I'd love to see him on the Lakers, but Bradley Beal is a very solid all-star, very good shooting guard, top 10 shooting guard in the league. Number 5 pick, the Sacramento Kings will choose Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton was the 39th pick, and he's a very good player. He's not really the second. He can't be really the best second option on a championship team. He could be your third best option on a championship team, but he could be a second best option. If you're not going for rings, you're just going to playoffs. He's a very good, solid player, very good all-star, and he can't go wrong with Chris Middleton. The number 6 pick, you got Andre Drummond, the best rebounding big man in the NBA. Drummond can get you 20 rebounds if he really wants to. He averages like 10 to 15 rebounds per game. His offense is a little bit lacking, but he's a very good rebounding center. And the number 7 pick, you got Dion Waiters. When Dion Waiters is healthy, obviously he's about to be an NBA champ. Either way, Lakers win or lose, which the Lakers are going to win. But Dion Waiters is a very good player, and I believe he should be the 7th pick, other than eating edibles. If he didn't eat edibles, he'd be a very solid 7th pick. Number 8 pick, you got Austin Rivers going to the Raptors. Austin Rivers is a very good backup point guard, as you guys can see on the Rockets this season. With the number 9 pick, you got Myers Leonard going to the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, he's a very good stretch big. He can shoot the ball at high velocity, and he's probably lacking. He's a bit weak. He can't rebound that good, but you've seen in the Trailblazers in that Western Conference run, he showed up and he can actually shoot a hell of a lot of good for a big man. At the number 10 pick, you got Terrence Ross, highly athletic shooting guard, very athletic, uber athletic. He can dunk it on anyone. He can shoot the 3. He can play pretty good defense, but Terrence Ross is a solid pick at number 10. That is the 2012 NBA redraft. Let's go into 2013. In the 2013 NBA draft, this is the last draft I'm going to do for this video. Obviously, you want part 2. Make sure to leave that like. The first pick in the 2013 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers will choose Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, you know he's a 2-time MVP, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year who doesn't deserve the MVP this season or the Defensive Player of the Year. Fight me. LeBron James deserves the MVP, as he's showing in the playoffs, and Anthony Davis deserves that Defensive Player of the Year, as he's shown in the playoffs. Obviously, they should have MVP for the playoffs, and most valuable player doesn't even mean that anymore. He wasn't the most valuable player in the NBA this season. Obviously, LeBron James was, but let's get off topic. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a top 5 player in the NBA. He's probably 5th when Steph Curry, Durant, players like that start coming back. For my top 5, I have LeBron, AD, then I have Durant, Curry, then Giannis. But Giannis is still a top 5 player in the league. I have Kawhi Leonard 6th. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a very good player. Obviously, he just runs headfirst in the paint. Once he can shoot threes more consistently, he can shoot threes, but once he can shoot them more consistently and shoot the free throw line more consistently and actually get his team over the hump in the East, which is the easier conference, I believe he's still the number 1 best pick in the 2013 NBA draft. With the second pick, you have Orlando Magic choosing Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, you're on a different flight, but Rudy Gobert, obviously a 2 to 3-time Defensive Player of the Year center. He ruined the NBA by giving everyone COVID-19, but what can you do about it? Obviously, I'm happy now because the Lakers are about to win the chip. But Rudy Gobert, the best, possibly a top 3 center for defensive end. Obviously, his offense is lacking and he's a bit weak. Number 3 pick, you have Wizards choosing Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo, when healthy, is a very solid all-star. One of a top 15, say top 30 player in the NBA right now. So Victor, hopefully comes to the Lakers for a trade for Danny Green, but Victor Oladipo is a very solid player when healthy and all-star. Number 4, you have the Hornets choosing CJ McCollum. I chose Victor over CJ because CJ hasn't been to an all-star game as of yet, so I'm going to choose Victor Oladipo over him. But CJ McCollum is a very good shooting guard for the Blazers, a very good player, and I don't see him not going any lower than 4. Number 5 pick, you got Dennis Schroeder, who should have won 6th Man of the Year, got robbed this season. A lot of awards went the wrong way, but Dennis Schroeder is a very good 6th man. I believe one of the best point guards in the league, can get you like 10-15 points per game, but things couldn't go wrong with Schroeder. With the 6th pick, the Pelicans would choose Steven Adams. You see him on the OKC, very strong center. He can get you 10-10. He is a very good defensive anchor center, and he deserves to be the 6th spot. With the 7th pick, you got the Sacramento Kings choosing Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a very good player. He averages like 13-15 points per game. Another good bench player, as you guys can see when he played for the Mavericks this season. With the 8th pick, the Detroit Pistons would choose KCP, who they originally picked. KCP is about to be an NBA champion. He can get you 10-15 points on a nightly basis when he is hitting his shots. When he is cold, he is the most hated player in LA, but KCP is a very solid player. very solid 6th man in my opinion. With the 9th pick, I believe the Minnesota Timberwolves would pick Ben McLemore. Again, very good bench piece, another good shooting guard who could shoot the lights out from the 3-point range. With the 10th pick, the Portland Trailblazers would choose Michael Carter-Williams, who was the Rookie of the Year that season. Obviously, he's not the best right now, but he's still the 10th best player in this draft. If you look at it because he won the Rookie of the Year, he can still come off the bench, give you 10, 15 points per game. Very tall point guard, like 6'6", 6'7", like Alonzo Ball. He basically is Lonzo Ball, actually he's just like Lonzo Ball, to be honest. Can't shoot that well, and is a very good rebounding point guard, passing point guard, you know, solid piece. But that is today's video. Want to see the 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then the NBA 20 draft. Obviously, all you guys have to do is leave that like, hit that subscribe button, as I said. Turn the post notification on. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.